want to see my recruitment smile? Hi, welcome to Kappa. Hello everybody, welcome to this video. If you are about to go through sorority recruitment, this is going to be my tips for survival and quick and dirty tips that you can stick in your bag, literally, to make it through this week because it is a crazy week. Probably the most commonly asked question is, what do I wear for sorority recruitment? And this question is answered differently depending on what school you go to. So my answer to that question is just check the guidelines for like whatever school you are rushing at or going through formal recruitment, depending on the terminology. But some tips for that, you're probably going to be outside a lot, so try to be comfortable, something that you can wear outside. So if it's super short and not tight enough to where if the wind is blowing, things are going to be shown, just like keep that in mind. Maybe throw on a pair of spandex or something, or like consider the length when you are deciding what to wear. The objective is to be comfortable and confident because you don't want to be uncomfy. That makes you not confident. Also, just like recognize that you might have to sit on the ground, so do with that what you will. The second question is, what kinds of things should I bring with me or have in a bag with me when I'm going through recruitment? So obviously you are going to want to have some like face powder, lip gloss, deodorant, things that you can touch up with throughout the day, because sometimes those days are like 12 hours long and you are going from party to party and talking to women all day long. You might get a little stinky, you might feel a little sweaty. Sometimes you just need to freshen up between those parties, and having some of that with you is a really great way to do that. Having mints is a great idea. I know during recruitment at my school they passed out mints in the line, but if that's not a thing that they do, you might want to consider getting like a bag of Lifesavers and sticking it in your bag and just like sucking on one of those before the parties or in between, just so that you feel like you're nice and fresh and ready to go. You might want to have a towel or a sweatshirt with you. The towel would be just like set on the ground. A sweatshirt would serve two separate purposes. You could set it on the ground and sit on top of it, or you could wear it if it gets chilly. Something else to do with the weather, you might want to have a small umbrella just in case. I know this year it rained. It rained on the girls during the formal round, so that was unfortunate, but it was fine. You might also want to bring a pen or pencil and some paper with you. That way you can write down your thoughts between each round. It's kind of important for you to make note of the impressions that you have at each house, because ultimately you're deciding what kinds of people and what kind of group of people you're going to be around the next 4 years if you do decide to stay in the sorority. So it's important for you to like make note of the conversations you had and what you liked and didn't like about the houses. And then also you might want to bring something to do. You might want to bring a book or a magazine, or like you can bullet journal or listen to some music or something between rounds, because sometimes they get a little lengthy if you do have some downtime. All right, the third question is like, how do I have a conversation with a person? I know this is hard. Having conversations with real people is difficult. Having conversations with people you don't know and you know that they've been having the same conversation for 13 hours is also very difficult. Let me give you some tips. As someone who has been on both sides of it, it's super important for you to answer the question, but also answer it in a more full way than you would expect to in a normal conversation. You are probably going to get asked generic questions like, what's your major? Or how do you like the dorm? The generic questions are sort of asked in a way that lets you take the conversation where you want it. We are trying to get the most information out of you as we can that helps us like more fully place you in the house. So if I ask you what your major is and you just tell me, I can't really do anything with that. So you should answer the question and tell me why or what you like about that. So take advantage of the format of the questions and sort of how the conversations are started if you do get asked generic questions, so that you can kind of brag on yourself and highlight your strengths. Okay, so let me give you an example. I ask you, what's your major? And you say, elementary education. Yeah. So instead of answering it in a generic way or just giving me a fact about yourself, you should answer it more like this. I am doing elementary education because I love working with kiddos, and I think that elementary teachers play such a key role in making great students, and I really want to fill that role. in the world. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Alex, I can't just give them all the information that they want. That's crazy. They have to work for me. If they want me, they're gonna get me, and that's how it works. I mean, kind of, yes. But the point of having these conversations is so that we as a sorority can get to know if you are going to fit well in our house. We want you to be surrounded by women that support you and are like-minded. And so if you are just giving me facts about yourself, it's really hard for me to like get a gauge what your personality is. I know it's crazy having conversations with women for 13 hours and getting one-word answers. Sounds thrilling. It's actually not. Shocker. So like that tip in summary is like, yes, I want to know what the things that you do are. So if I ask you like, what activities are you in? You can give me facts off your resume. You can list things to me, but what's going to be more effective is you giving me a fact about yourself and then developing that. I want a piece of you with the answer that you're giving. Does that make sense? I feel like that. It just develops overall greater conversations. So maybe if you are getting ready for recruitment, you could practice having conversations like this with people. It'd be like if someone asked you, how was your day? And you said, bad. You should expand on that so you can have an actual conversation about it. It just gets awkward if you sit there and it's quiet the whole time, so. Honestly, the biggest part about sorority recruitment is having the conversations that mean something. It's not as much about what you're wearing or what you look like. It's more about the conversations that you're having with people, so that's what I would focus on most. You can probably practice this by anticipating questions and just thinking about what your responses would be. You don't want to sound too rehearsed. You do want to have like a real conversation with people, so make sure you are listening to what they're asking you and what they're saying to you, because if you sound too rehearsed, that is noted. So, okay. Well, this is the first video in the series of sorority stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. So I will be posting more videos about like why I chose a sorority and then pros and cons with that, so that you can kind of weigh your options, especially as that season is approaching. But I hope these tips are helpful for you. If you would like to see more videos sort of like this or not like this, because I do a lot of weird stuff, please subscribe right in one of these corners. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I will see you back next week.